This is Dennis and Charlie, who've been together since 2006.
So we thought we would talk about our wedding and how we got married, because obviously that's a little bit different than a lot of you, I guess. But I was actually living in Lexington. I worked for Washington and Lee in the admissions office, and Dennis was an attorney here in Richmond. And we did the long distance thing for about a year, and then we thought about buying a house together here in Richmond. And I basically told Dennis that I wanted to be married before we did that.
No. Actually, I had given my younger brother some very sage advice, because he was getting married that summer, actually, and he wanted his then girlfriend to move with him. He was in the Marines, and he was moving to Pensacola, and he wanted her to come, and I said, you cannot ask her to come without putting a ring on her finger. And he said, okay, and I thought that if I was going to ask Charlie to move to Richmond, I had to follow my own advice.
So the story differs on who you ask,
Right.
as I think many couples will say. So Dennis rigged up this elaborate scheme
Yes.
to basically propose to me, which kind of to this day cracks me up. So I was helping someone move out of her apartment. My then roommate picked me up somehow. I can't remember. I think we were using his car. And
It
then
was
he
on
said,
a Friday afternoon. I'd left work early. I'd come into town and decorated his house while he wasn't there.
right. So my roommate picked me up and said he needed to swing by the office, and he wanted to go by this like very unusual route. And I thought he was drunk. And he pulls up to this beautiful spot at W&L that's called the Ruins. It's the original building from the 1700s, and Dennis was standing there. And I think that what Dennis said when I got out of the car, because I was kind of like, what is going on? And Dennis, I think, said, do I need to get on one knee? Which I, of course, made him do.
And of course, I remember falling immediately right to one knee, not asking the question. Being very gallant.
So that happened, and then we, bought the house and everything, and it was a couple years before
Because
we
couldn't agree on details, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there were no precedents for what we wanted to do. So there was no, you call the church, you call the
Caterer, party planner.
None of that was set. So we just kept going around and around and putting it off, and finally we decided we were going to do it. And we decided that it was very important to us to actually have a legal marriage. So we decided on Connecticut, because I'd covered that for a while for Washington and Lee, and we flew up. Well, actually, I'll let you tell. I mean, we flew up.
Well, we flew up on a Friday into LaGuardia, rented a car, drove up to New Canaan, picturesque New England town. Met our Justice of the Peace, who Charlie had contacted online. She was lovely, amazing woman. Two of our best friends who lived in New York took the train up from the city and met us in New Canaan. They were our witnesses, that we didn't really need them, we just wanted them there. And the Justice of the Peace married us. And after the wedding, the mayor of New Canaan came out and congratulated us and shook our hands.
And I believe he asked if we were going to stay in New Canaan that night, to which I, of course, replied, oh no, we're going to New York. So, which to me, I got a very quick nudge from Dennis on that, like, no, we're staying in New Canaan and having a big night. So anyway, that was the legal part of things. And then it was also very important to us that we get the support of our friends and family. Mm-hmm. So Dennis has this amazing friend, Beth, from grad school, who I think is an amazingly talented actress.
She is.
And we asked her to basically redo the ceremony for, I think, 90 of our close friends and family in Lexington. Mm-hmm. So we had it at this really pretty old manor house, which was actually attached to a hotel, so everybody could stay there on the steps of that. And
she did an absolutely beautiful job.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of choked up just thinking about it. No, you can edit that out. No, but she did. She did a really amazing job. It was very touching. She was so moved to do it. And I think we were all moved, and we had so many people who came up to us afterwards and were like, that is the most moving thing I've ever seen. I've been to XYZ weddings, and it was just, you know, I think because we didn't have to do it, you know, we didn't have to get married or invite them or include them, but it was so important to us to have them there.
Yeah, and what was really important to us, and we actually added this in the vows because I'm Episcopal and I don't know if they do this in every religion, but they basically ask in the service if you'll support the couple as they move forward in their lives, and we added that in because it was so important for us to get that support from our friends and family. And one of the most enthusiastic we wills I've ever heard. And we continue to rely on our friends and family as things have been difficult.
Yes.
So
It was awesome though. We had a great time, and all of our family was there, and even my 80, I guess at that point she was, well actually I'm not allowed probably to say her age, but my grandmother, who has great-grandchildren at this point, traveled up from Texas to be there, and it was awesome.
yeah, so that is the story of how we got married.
That is.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.